ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Dr. David Harris, and he is working on a really exciting test that's pretty rare, right?
Yeah, we looked around as people that could do it and decided that it's probably something we need to add to our repertoire here, yeah.
So we're excited to tell you about it, and I'll have David take it away.
Okay, well this is the ring cracking test. The idea of this is to form an infinite piece of concrete. So it's around in a circle, but you can imagine that there's no boundary condition, there's no edge. So it's infinite in its boundary condition. And so the spec is very specific. It's actually quite a good spec. I like this particular spec in terms of how easy it is to read and how specific it is on what to do. So the idea is to cast this 2-inch thick rim. In order to do that, we have a piece of steel pipe on the inside that we had manufactured. And we had it cut. It's 13 inches on the outside diameter. Requires a 64 mil finish, a very fine finish. So we found a machine shop to do that for us. We don't do the machining. We're concrete people. And then the outside rim, to form the outside mold, can be multiple things. We chose to go with plastic pipe. It's a little lighter, a little cheaper. You know, it was a little. We shipped it in from. I think we bought it in Texas, then had it cut up north of Denver. And then we sent it to our machinist to have these pegs put in so it's exactly the right dimension in the rim. So that, and then the mold has to be a mold that won't bond. So we have this acrylic plastic in the bottom, so it won't be. It's not like plywood or something that it can bond to. You can actually use plywood, but just put a release agent on it. So again, this particular specification, I'm bad with numbers. I think it's 1581, but the viewers might want to look that up to be sure.
Fact check us.
It's a fact check on that. That could be phony, but so what we're doing now, the idea of it is that as the concrete wants to shrink, it will eventually crack. Concrete can't stand tension, so it'll eventually crack. And we can visually see it when it cracks. I mean, it'd be, you know, lead pencil width probably when it cracks. We'll be able to see it. But the spec calls for you to measure it over time and measure the strain. And of course, I'm the stress strain guy, so this is a good one for me. Measures the strain at which it actually fails or cracks. And that, knowing the strain, you can use that in design. You can use it to design joints or all kinds of things. So in order to measure the strain, we need a strain gauge. So this is a strain gauge from Texas Measurements in Texas. They've been in the business a very long time. When I was at my mentor, Texas A&M actually is the president of this company. So we use these. There's a few different groups that sell strain gauges, but I have my mentor on speed dial, so it's handy to buy from them, and that way I can, if I'm in the middle of something, I just pick up the phone and call and get immediate advice. So these are strain gauges designed to measure strain in steel. Yeah, you can see they're not very large, so that's why I brought a magnifying glass today with light, so I can see what I'm doing. And applying strain gauges, there's a little bit of an art to it. You have specialized glue, and you have to glue it just right, and then you have Texas Measurements supplies these cellophane sheets that you can use to press against it while it sets, and the glue won't stick to the cellophane sheet. There's other ways to do it. They make a release tape that you can use. There's different ways to do it. But what you don't want to do is put your rubber glove on it and hold it, because then you'll glue your finger to the rim and to the strain gauge and to the wire, and you'll wind up gluing it to your shirt and all. You'll just wind up gluing it to everything. So we'll do that. We'll mount this, and then I've got one mounted on this side, Haley, that you can see. You can see I've glued the gauge at half height. There'll be one on each side diametrically opposed. So here's the gauge glued. This big glob is a different kind of glue. It's a bonding glue or a strength glue, just so the wire won't have a tendency to pull off. It's called bond weld or something like that. It's just to supply some strength so you don't pull the gauge off. I guess we'll probably have a second session with that, Haley. We can show how you hook the strain gauges up to data acquisition system, and the one we're using is a company in Vermont. It's a wireless, it's a Wi-Fi system, so you can be within a half a mile of your data, of your little, what they call a node, your collection node, and be within a half a mile. You can be sitting in your office sipping coffee or whatever, sitting in your truck or whatever, and watching it on your computer.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's a neat system. It's a really neat system. So we'll need another session on that. I don't have that quite ready to go today.
So stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Haley, thanks for stopping by down
Yeah,
here.
of course.
It's getting a little lonely down
Looks
here.
like you're having fun.
Oh, yeah, so much fun, yeah.
Very tedious.
It's a little tedious, but, you know, it's like everything. You have to take good care with it. You need to do it just right to get good data from it. So
Awesome. Well, thanks, David.
All righty. Thank you, Haley.
Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, ding that bell for notification. Go Concrete!
And beat asphalt.